Hey everyone, it's me again and welcome to Faith's Faces. If you're new to my channel, welcome to my little corner of the internet. My name's Faith Grenade and I put makeup videos here on YouTube. And you should subscribe and hit that little bell icon. It'll notify you every time I upload so you don't miss a minute of this riveting action. It's a race against the clock today. What you've stumbled upon is Faith's Faces, which is usually a get ready with me or a makeup tutorial like we've got going on today. I really don't know. I didn't know what I was going to do going into this. I had no idea what to expect. And this was my fourth attempt at getting my makeup to work today, but it finally worked out. I am really happy with the result. We used the Morphe Dare to Create eyeshadow palette today, this big kahuna. This is what the palette looks like. Lots and lots of colors to play with. Initially, I really wanted to play with these greens, but apparently that's gonna have to wait to another day because I literally tried 3 times to get the look to work and I just couldn't. So I gave up. I used the blues to create this along with some flash of fuchsia red on the lower lash line. Everything's very graphic, very editorial. I haven't done a graphic look in a really long time. And if you want to know how to get this graphic, crazy, colorful editorial makeup, then just keep on watching, baby. Frickin' airplanes. Let's get going. I didn't, really need to do this, but I did it on the other eye, so we'll just do it on this eye too. I'm taking Define Me, which is this kind of orangey transition shade, dipping into that on a Sonia Kashuk 109, knocking most of the excess off. And I'm just blowing this through the crease, keeping it low, because I really don't need this to peek through up above, and it's honestly not going to be seen. I just didn't really know what I was doing at first, so transition shade when in doubt. Now I'm going to take what I believe to be indigo, this deep, 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 deep blue here, on a Real Techniques accent brush. These brushes are a little bit pointed. If an angle brush works better for this for you, then go ahead and do it. But we're going to do this sort of wing portion up top here. The only trick to this is to take your time. Especially on the opposite eye when you're, trying to match up the two. Just take your time. It's going to take forever. You might mess up a little bit, but if you trend a little outward, you can always correct it with a makeup wipe later. I would basically just use the very, very tip of the accent brush to draw a line like that, and then I'm going to follow the crease around a teeny bit. Okay, so I'm going to leave it that way for now. You can see that I'm barely touching the inside of my eye. I'm just sort of mapping out the shape, and then as things come together, I'll sort of trim things up and tweak things. So, coming in with a double-ended Anastasia Beverly Hills brush that I got from one of her palettes. I'm going to go into that indigo shade again, and we're going to start to fill in the little triangle on the outer corner of our eye here. I'm going to need my mirror for this again. And when you go into this, try to fill in just the fuller parts of the eye with this bigger brush. I mostly do this to save time, because otherwise I would be here for days trying to get this filled in. So I'm going to fill in the bigger parts of the design with this brush. Lighten up the pressure as I go in, blending face. And then for that very, very pointed tip, I'm going to go back in with my accent brush, get a little more product on it, and we're just coming in here just with that brush and filling in the very, very tip. Okay, hard part's done pretty much, so we're going to take a flat brush, kind of like this one here. This is the Esom W23, and I'm going to reach into, what shade is this? Dare Me, which is this big cobalt blue shade up at the top. Nice and metallic. These shimmers have a very odd texture. They're almost sticky, but it works for a look like this, I suppose. And we're just going to come in right next door to that deeper blue color, and we're going to carry this shimmer in toward the middle of the lid, again following that sort of triangular pattern. So there's where we're at so far. You can see I've got a little bump back here that I'm gonna have to adjust later. But now I'm going to take the shade Tailor, which is this bright kind of aqua blue, and I'm going to take this on the other side of the same brush because I'm too lazy to clean brushes. Tap it off a little bit. I'm going to put this, you guessed it, on the inner third of the lid. Fill in the blanks. And this way, with using both of those shades on the same brush, I can sort of load up a tiny bit of each one on either side and work to blend this seam here just by going back and forth between patting one color over and the other color. Back and forth, side by side, until they're quite well blended together. So now that we're at this point in the process, this is another cleanup stage. So you're going to take a look at your shape, just straight on in the mirror, and trim off what you don't need. Okay, now we're going to deepen up the outer area. So I'm going to take the black in this palette, which is called Muse. I'd pop it up and show it to you, but it's a massive palette and it's just a black freaking eyeshadow. So I'm going to take this on a Real Techniques base shadow brush, and I'm just going to pat this gently into the outer corner just to darken that up. And I do mean gently because this black means business. That's about as good as I'm going to get, really. My eyes are two different shapes, and I have a pillowy deposit of fat on this eye that just makes life so much more difficult for me, regardless of what I do. And now we're going to do the lower lash line, which is mind-numbingly easy compared to the rest of this look. I'm going to take the shade Snatched, I believe. This ooh, this palette's so big. This bright orangey color here. And this color really seems to have no pairing in this palette. It just kind of sticks out like a sore thumb. But I'm going to take this and I'm going to run it under the lower lash line, sort of bringing it in below and past the inner corner, if that makes any sense. And then I'm going to carry it up and out in more of a flat wing. And once you've got your sort of color placement down and you kind of have the angle that you want, you can just build up the color. Because of the nature of putting this on with a thicker angled brush, it allows for more precision, but it doesn't allow for as much pigmentation. So you're going to have to build this out a little bit. And once again, you're going to run into, oh shit, my eyes are different shapes, and you're just going to have to accommodate for that. It becomes a kind of game of, you know, what shape you have to make to allot for the changes in eye shape from one eye to the next. Okie dokie, guys. Now that that's done, I really wanted something to sort of brighten the inner corner, but this palette really doesn't have that much in the way of brightening shades. It doesn't have a whole lot of lightness to it. There's a lot of depth and dark, and that's great for fall and winter, but I'm really looking for something nice and bright. So I'm going to reach into my Transformers from my Smashbox Create and Transform Masterclass palette. I'm going to dust off my accent brush here, get most of that dark blue off of there, and I'm going to reach into Spectral, which is this kind of blue duochrome shade. Pack that on the brush and mash that into the inner corner. And that's another thing that is absolutely key for people with small eyes or eyes that are close together. If you're doing a graphic look like this, blow up that inner corner. You want that to be nice and bright and open, because that's going to, you know, attract the eye and really sort of make your eyes look a little bit bigger and wider. For liner, lashes, and mascara, not really doing any liner today because I don't want to block up this wonderful eyeshadow we've got going on. I am going to do mascara. I've been testing out this little sample of the IT Cosmetics Superhero Mascara, and I've been really liking it. It's not flaking or smudging on my eyes at all, which is great. So I'm going to use that, and I'm going to put on some nice, big, thick lashes. I don't know what kind yet, but when I figure it out, when I come back with all of my complexion makeup done as well, I will let you know. So, I'll be back in a second. Okay guys, I'm back and I'm rapidly losing light, so I'm gonna end this up pretty quick. Quick rundown, I used my IT Cosmetics CC Cream for my base. I've been absolutely loving that now that I got fair and light and mixed them both together to create my perfect shade. It's a beautiful base, but god damn it, IT Cosmetics, make more shades. Physicians Formula on the blush and the bronzer. Had to go a little heavy on the bronze today because I mixed myself a little pale. But I also used the Anastasia Beverly Hills Moonchild Glow Kit for my highlight today, which, I mean, I look a little weird with cool tone highlight on, but I don't hate it. I used Blue Ice, Pink Heart, and then I used a little bit of Blue Moon as well on the Cupid's bow. And now for lips. I have no idea what to do with this. To be totally honest with you, I have thought and thought and thought, and I can't figure it out. Because I think the last time I did this look, I did a black lip and then I layered some metallic shadows over top of it to really give it that sort of boom, but I don't really want to take away attention from the eyes because they are the main focus here. So, let's go ahead and figure our life out. Okay, and we're there. Good enough. So basically what I did is I put a black lip on. Mine was Sephora Cream Lip Stain in Nightbird, and then I topped it with Blue Ice from the Moonchild Glow Kit to create a softer, subtle take on the metallic lip. You know, trying to stay on trend over here. The sun is rapidly sinking behind the clouds, and I have to run. So, without further ado, the thing I always forget to do, let's do some awkward posing. Awkward posing. Looking down, looking forward, looking fierce. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful, informative, or entertaining. If you did, there's a button for that. Spank that like button in the butt, you know it deserves it. And if you want to see more from me, got a couple options now. You can click the videos on either side of my head to binge if you're bored or bummed out, or hey, you can hit that button that looks like my face and subscribe and become a member of the faithful today. I put out new videos every Sunday. Thank you guys so much for watching and joining me today, and I will see you in the next video. Toodles!